Hello everybody and welcome back. If you're like me and you enjoy music on the go, then maybe you've already done it, or you're planning to do it, or you're still looking for something that fits your likes, and then you're going to go out and get some of that. What I'm talking about is, of course, wireless Bluetooth speakers. The world is full of them. There are literally thousands and thousands of different models to choose from. Big, small, expensive, cheap, waterproof, I don't know, everything. And well, I went out and I bought some at the beginning of this week, and it was those here. And I thought I made a pretty good deal because they were not too expensive. There was a lot of information about these speakers with the offer on Amazon, and I thought, well, that sounds good. About 25 bucks for a pair of speakers that are pretty simple, but they do have some punch to them. And boy, was I surprised when these turned up. Yeah, I don't usually do scam videos, but this is just amazing. And yeah, let me show you. I really got two of these speakers. Here's one of them, and here's the other one. And they do look exactly the way they were advertised. They both work, but they are very odd and they're very different from what was promised. So first of all, why did I buy two of them? There is this thing called True Wireless Stereo, TWS, which allows you to take two speakers that support this feature and basically turn them into one stereo speaker. This comes in really handy if you're in a large room and you want to have real stereo, or if you just want the stereo experience, or if you want to put one in one room and another one in the other room and you just want them playing the same thing, like when you're listening to an audio tape, for example. Well, yeah, so these things work. They're kind of odd, so I'm going to turn them on and I will be muting the audio for about 10 seconds during this thing, because they play a tune, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to have an audio copyright match, and I don't want that. So let's turn them on.
Bluetooth mode.
So now they're both turned on.
Connected.
They're going to connect to my smartphone, and they're going to connect to each other because I turned on the True Wireless Stereo mode. And when I actually used this for the first time in my room, I thought it sounded funny. It did sound funny. It had this weird spherical 3D aural, I don't know what sound, and I didn't know what to make of it until I played some music and I put these speakers really close to one another, and I observed that the music would suddenly get a lot less loud than it was before. So I'm going to play something now, which is from the audio, from the YouTube audio library. So I'm hoping I don't get any matches. So let's try this. And I'm going. And now they're facing one another exactly. And I'm going to remove one. And all of a sudden it becomes a lot louder. When you put them close to each other, they become silent again. So this is a pretty good indication that something is wrong here. And that was the first thing that got me into, well, investigating a little bit more. Because one of these two speakers actually has a 180-degree phase shift, which could be that somebody just attached the speaker cables wrong. So one has reverse polarization, and basically that leads to one speaker canceling the other out. And since they're using these passive membranes for bass, this makes it even worse than that. The closer they get, the less loud the sound is, and the less bass you get. So one alone sounds a little bit tinny, but it's not really that bad. It could be a lot worse, but they don't have a very rich bass to them, which is promised. They're supposed to have this super great bass, and they're supposed to have the greatest sound ever. And
Disconnected.
oof.
Bluetooth mode.
Okay, and they do have a radio mode, which is really annoying if you touch the on-off switch, because it's going to go into radio mode, and that is extremely loud and extremely annoying. Now, well, I started looking into this speaker, and I had all of these pictures that I was showing in the description and in the offer, and I'll just read some of these. So it says Bluetooth version 5.0, maybe. Speaker specification 10 watts, 2 times. RF range 50 meters. Frequency response 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. I really doubt that. Working time 16 hours. Maybe. Battery capacity 2,800 milliamp hours. Really? Battery charging time 4 hours. With 2,800 milliamp hours? I don't think so. Charging voltage 5 volts, 0.7 amp hours. The product size 87 by 87 by 106 millimeters. I measured that and it's correct. Some of the other things they claim is multifunction Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, we've heard that. Radio, Bluetooth, and well, it's also got a USB plug in the back, and you can use it to play off a USB thumb drive. You can charge it over DC 5 volts, and it's got a micro SD card slot. Also, you can give it sound with an 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, male-to-male cable. And the playback from thumb drive doesn't actually sound that bad. It's okay. It's tinny, it doesn't have a lot of bass, but it's okay somewhat. So let's turn them off.
Power off.
That's nice. Yeah, we've got Bluetooth 5.0 music playing, true wireless stereo, FM radio, SD card music playing, aux in hands-free speakerphone. Oh yeah, I tried that. That actually works pretty nicely. Voice guide, and that's the stuff. That's when it starts talking all of a sudden. And a power off memory function. It will start up in the same mode as it was turned off. The operating guide on here is wrong. I don't know why. Also, it says super bass, multifunction, high power, microphone and waterproof. Yeah, waterproof is one of these things. I really doubt it. We're gonna have a look into one of these now because I really want to find out what's in them, if this is true, because it just doesn't make the impression that what is on here is really in here. And waterproof is one of those things. Yeah, waterproof means that if water gets inside, it will never come out, or water from the outside can never get in. But honestly, water always finds a way to get into stuff, and if it can't come out, then you're in trouble. The rest is nothing. It's the name. It's Zhenxing Yang. And on Amazon, this thing actually has a fair number of reviews, and it's got loads of stars by over 1,500 people. And some of the reviews are the standard reviews. Yeah, it arrived the next day. I was really happy, and yeah, I can listen to my audio tapes on this, or my audiobooks. Fine. And some are, the device was really easy to plug in. I am so happy. Yeah, I'm not one. There might have been a lot of marketing that went into this before these came out, and also all of the pictures are really shiny. They depict another device, I think, but we're going to have a look at that. And yeah, let's just get it open. So the nice thing about this was that that some of the drawings hinted on how easy it would be to take it apart. And I've started with one because it is really easy, because the bottom just screws off. It takes a bit of force, but it does come off really nicely. So does the top. Then we can already see the passive membrane, which is glued in with some gooey glue. That seems to be really, yeah, that wasn't glued in so well. It was only like, well, it wasn't that good. And the outside, I think, just pops off. I might need to get a screwdriver for that, but I'm going to try it just with my fingers. "3D printing tools to the rescue." There we go. And I thought that it would come off really easy. I want to be able to put this back together again. I'm not going to return them now that I've opened them. Well, not this one at least. And let's have a look. We get, ta-da! So we have one speaker. All of the illustrations say it's dual driver, but this is definitely just one little speaker here. Well, I don't know, it's like 2.5 inch, 2 inch. Appears to be a paper membrane, so this is probably not waterproof at all. Yeah, and it's got, oh yeah, the outside of the speaker, it's really hard to see, is actually also paper. So this is not, well, maybe it's waterproof, so once water gets in, it can't come out, but the speaker will not enjoy water at all. Yeah, let's continue. Screwdriver, let's see if this works. Yeah. Three screws? No, 4 screws. There's another one on the top here. 2 screws. Three screws. And we're in there. Now, as you can see, I've already done some of my homework, and I've already spent quite some time on Google and on AliExpress trying to figure out what this device really is. And ow. Oh. This is just held in place with some tape. Yeah, that's really cheap. So the speaker, yeah, that is cardboard on the outside. There's a little, I don't know, foam on the outside of that, holding it together. So this speaker is not waterproof. Let's see if there's a hint to the power that the speaker has on the back of here. Yeah, here we go. So what were we saying? We were like looking for 20 watts of audio power. Let's see how much we're gonna get. I definitely need a bit better knife for this. We'll be right back. Knives. Let's see if we can slice all of this off. It looks like it says 4 ohms and 5 watts. So we're still short of 15 watts here. Nope. It actually says 4 ohms, 3 watts. Well, this is getting better all the time. So, as I don't know if you can read this, I'm going to try to get this closer to you. It actually says 4 ohms, 3 watts. And that is probably the reason why the sound of this thing is so tinny. We also have the... It gets better all the time. We also have the battery, which has useful information on it. It says 1,200 milliamp hours. Oh, come on. You could have at least tried. Yeah, let's get that little board out of here, but this recess is so small, there's never going to be a big amplifier in there because we only have a 3-watt speaker. This is great. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper. Now, we know that the power isn't right. We know that the battery isn't right. Also, and that's a really interesting thing, whoever put this thing together didn't even make the effort of trying to make it sound good, because this here is a passive resonator, and they did put this piece of stainless steel on the top, but it's way too light. There should be a counterweight at the back of this that is made so you get a really low resonance frequency between the driver, the air volume on the inside, which is very small, and the resonator. So this is actually supposed to vibrate only at really, really low frequencies. And usually if you get a JBL or an Anchor or a somewhat better speaker, they will actually have a weight on the back of here. And that weight is there so you amplify the low frequencies and you get a resonance when you have a low frequency over this really tiny speaker, and that just makes the audio so much better. That is what gives you the impression that this thing had tons of bass, although it doesn't really have the speaker that could output such a low frequency. But they didn't even go that extra mile. So let's see what we find in here. I need to get rid of the screws first. Yeah, as I said, I did my homework and I found some really, really similar speakers on AliExpress, and that were available for around $10 a piece. And they put a strategic drop of hot glue on here. Is probably going to make it really hard to get the inside board out, but I'm just going to pull with force. And here we go. We have the inside board. That is... The board calls itself a GLD BT1047 version 1.0. This doesn't actually tell me anything. And I do not immediately recognize the Bluetooth chip. But I did find the reason why one of my speakers appears to have the driver not working right. This could be really hard to see for you. I'm just going to try and get this up there. So, because the speaker cables are actually attached with the wrong polarity. Plus is black and minus is red. I don't know if you can see this. And it's the small wiring to the left. And given everything that I've seen so far, I'm pretty sure that this here is the amplifier IC. And that thing is never going to put out 20 watts. because there's no cooling on here. There's nothing. Oh yeah, they do have a heat transfer through the PCB. They're using the PCB for cooling. Let's try to get some numbers of this stuff. So the Bluetooth chip is a JL-AS19AP24177. I've never heard of that one. I was thinking that we would be seeing something from Cambridge Silicon Radio, CSR, around maybe a 64-15 or something. Oh yeah, but we do have an LTK 5311 audio amplifier. And that is 3.5 volts. Well, that is 5 watts at 5 volts. But we only have one single lithium cell. So we're in the ballpark of about 3 watts. Yeah, this is really disappointing. I was expecting just a little bit more. And if it's only effort of making something better, but honestly, this is really disappointing. This is way less than they advertised. And then getting the speaker polarity wrong, that's even worse than that. So I'm going to fix that. I'm going to try to get this back together, but I think I wasn't too friendly to the flat ribbon cable to the connector. Let's see. Oh, we can see if it still works.
Bluetooth mode. Power off.
Yeah, so it's still working. Right, so let's go through this again just for the fun of it. What did we find? So I'm pretty sure that this chip is not a Bluetooth 5.0 with EDR. I'm really sure that it's not. But I can't verify this right now. I tried to verify this with my CSR sniffer, which can tell you what type of Bluetooth device this is. But this thing was sort of secretive about its capabilities. But I'm going to do a little bit of research. If I find anything, I'm going to either put it in the video description, or I'm going to put it right into the video. So if during post-processing I did find out something, you're going to read it right here, right now. But I don't think so. So Bluetooth 5.0, I doubt it. Speaker specification, 10 watts, 2 of them. No, it's 3 watts and just 1 of them. So we're basically short of 17 watts. RF range, 15 meters. Well, that's standard Bluetooth, I suppose. Frequency response, 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Yeah, dream about that. Working time, 16 hours. That's interesting. Could that be? We got 1.2 amp hours at 3 watts with 3 volts. No. 12 would be around the maximum, I suppose, at 3 to 4 volts. We don't have a battery capacity of 2,800 milliamp hours. The distortion of 3%, maybe. The battery charging time with a cell so small, 4 hours, seems doable. Charging voltage and current, 5 volts, yeah, 0.7 amps? Don't think so. Signal to noise ratio. Well, it's pretty noisy in here, so maybe. And the other claims were multifunction. Yep. Bluetooth, we don't know. True wireless stereo. True wireless stereo already works with Bluetooth 4.2 in master and servant mode. Yeah. FM radio. Yeah. I didn't really try that out, but we don't have so many radio stations here. It's really bad reception area. Micro SD card playing, yeah. Pelling, yeah, who cares. Aux in, yeah, present. Hands-free speakerphone, that did work. The voice guide, yeah, pretty loud, but it's working. Power off, memory function. The super bass, no, that wasn't there. Multifunction, right. High power, nope, definitely not. Microphone included. Waterproof, they didn't even make that much of an effort. There's no waterproofing in here. Everything is just really cheap foam, and the speaker wasn't glued in. The speaker has a paper cone membrane and distancer, so no. But the electronics here are in a somewhat waterproof container inside the speaker. There's no sealing there or a washer or anything. It's just pretty simple, but I suppose you could call that minimal waterproofing. But the battery, for instance, is on the outside of that waterproofing, and it's maybe that's not such a good idea. But there's no more insulation down here, so if this thing gets wet, it gets to the battery right away. Does the battery have a protection circuit? It does have a... It looks like it has a temperature fuse. Maybe it does have a protection circuit. Well, that's a start. Okay, so yeah, Bluetooth speaker from Zhengxing. Yeah, that, don't order that. That is really, really bad. It is extremely bad. This is the thing that I would call a scam. If they're telling you you get 20 watts and in reality you're getting 3, that is scam material. They're telling you you're supposed to get a 2.8 amp hour battery and you get 1.2. Yeah, that's not even trying. So I don't even know if I'm going to fix this and put it back together. Maybe I'll just wrap all of this up and return it to Amazon the way it is. No, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I took it apart. I paid for it. So thank you very much for watching. It's been a really disappointing video. Sorry about that. I would have really wished that it was what I thought it wasn't. And I would have loved to just fix it and then say, well, it's a super thing. But these speakers, they're pretty much crap, and I think I'm going to put them in the outhouse or the garage or something. They can still do the stereo thingamajig, so they do have something. And the batteries apparently work. So I got some $3 batteries for $25. Should be happy. Could have gone worse. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.